Hey guys, so we are almost done the classification unit. You have learned so much in the last 45 days. You probably don't even realize it. Started all the way back with the intro, Carl Linnaeus, binomial nomenclature. We learned about genus and species, and then we learned through all the different little things, bacteria, viruses, protists, the three types in there, fungi, plants, and then now animals. We are finally on to animal behaviors. You're going to learn about half of it today, half of it tomorrow, and then we are finally finished with this unit. We are right on track. This next unit we're doing is kind of fun, so starting next week, we're going to have some more fun in this class. Hopefully, we can end the year on a good note. So, animal behaviors, here we go. So, animals communicate. You are an animal. You are listening to me, also an animal. I am communicating with you. So we as human beings, we have the most sophisticated or fancy way of communicating. We can talk. We have grammar and spelling. We can write. We can read. We can speak. We have all different languages. You can speak Spanish or French. You can speak German, English. You can speak all kinds of different dialects. There's even I know I say words being from Pennsylvania that you guys don't understand. And when I moved down here, I had to learn to say y'all, because y'all like to say that one. Okay. But true animals, the ones that is sitting right next to me and the one that's looking out the window right now in my house, my doggy and my kitty cat, they communicate in different kind of ways. They can't talk. Thank goodness. So they use sounds, scents, and body movements to communicate with one another. So I'm sure sitting here thinking, you can start to think about some ways that your animals might communicate with you if you have them. I know some of you guys have chickens and goats and pigs and all kinds of big animals and dogs and kitty cats. So sounds, my dog barks when she sees a cow, which we live on a farm, so it's a lot. My cat Nuka, he meows when he's hungry, which is also all the time. I'll try and record it one day. Oh, he's hilarious. Scents, I know some people have dogs that sometimes smell different if they're nervous. Obviously, like farting is a scent. That's a stinky one. Pheromones. So you guys are at the peak of your life where you stink. No offense. I love you, most of you. But you do stink, okay? If you, at the end of gym class, you smell your armpits, those are called pheromones. You're supposed to stink. That's okay. Put deodorant on, please. But your body is naturally supposed to stink. It's how we communicate with each other. We say, look, I just worked really hard. I'm tired. I'm gonna go take a nap. And the last one is body movements. So you guys do this all the time. If you cross your arms, I know you're feeling anxious or you're feeling guarded. If you roll your eyes, you're probably really frustrated at me or Miss Sewell, which is understandable at times. My dog Nova, she communicates with me if she puts her tail between her legs. Either she's nervous or she has to go pee-pee. I can't say the other P word because then she's going to go run it towards the door. There's all kinds of body movements that you might convey. My cat Nuka, he'll start to bite me if I pet him in the wrong place. He doesn't like being pet everywhere, just some places. Communication does help with interaction. So if you looked at this possum right now, what would you tell me he's feeling? He's feeling a little angry. He's showing his teeth. His eyes are real narrow. You can see the dark spot. The pupil of his eye is very small. Okay. Animals are going to communicate with each other, not just us. So when Nova goes to the dog park, she's a submissive dog, which means she lays on her back and she lets the other dogs sniff her. She's not a very aggressive dog. So what that says to the other dogs is, hey, I promise I won't bite you, just love me. And she just kind of lays there until everyone gets her sniff, and then that's that. So a little bit more on sounds. Some sounds are used to attract mates. So birds a lot of time will attract mates using a song. Whichever male bird can sing the prettiest song gets the girl. Howler monkeys. They got their name Howler monkeys because they howl, and then the female monkeys can hear it, and they pick the guy with the best voice, and then they go make babies. They kiss one time. They might use to signal a warning. So you can see here this little cute guy down here. He is most likely signaling, saying, yo, hey, there's danger over here. Okay, so he is signaling the other animals near him in his little pack. This tiger here, he might also be signaling a warning. He might say, hey, you're in my den, and if you get closer, I'm going to use these really, really, really sharp teeth to rip your face off. So he might even be signaling a warning because maybe he's full. Maybe he doesn't want to eat you right now. Who knows? Scents, that's a little bit more on that. Pheromones, we're going to be doing a mini lab today about pheromones, so we kind of need to understand that. It's a chemical released by an animal that affects the behavior of another one. That's a pheromone. So, have you ever seen a cat rub its face, specifically the corner of its mouth, up against something? My cat does it to everything. He rubs his face on laptops, on walls, on doors, on my dog, on couches, on the cabinets. It doesn't matter. He rubs his face everywhere. So actually in the corner of a male cat's mouth, they have scent glands. So what he's doing when he's rubbing his face up against things is he's actually saying, mine, that's mine, that's mine. He's rubbing his face up there. He's marking his territory. Another way that a good scent, oh goodness, Nova's gonna squeak her toy right now. Another way a scent might be used is a skunk. A skunk uses its pheromones to kind of say, hey, if you get any closer, I stink. You don't want to get much closer to me. So pheromones are all over the place. Like I said about your armpits, you have pheromones, okay? When you go run in gym class, some of you guys, like I said, you're in puberty, you don't even need to go run in gym class. You just stink. I like you, but you stink sometimes. Those pheromones actually are scent signals to say, look, I'm a really hard-working male or female, and I'm gonna make a really cute baby because look how much I stink. I'm really hardworking. So these pheromones are very primitive. We humans, we don't actually like them anymore. You're not going to walk up to another classmate and say, you just had gym class, didn't you? No, no, no. We actually get grossed out by that. So we use deodorant to mask our pheromones. But animals in nature, they don't have deodorant. So my dog Nova, she smells like a dog because she is a dog. My kitty cat marks all kinds of stuff around my house to say it's his because that's what his instincts tell him to do. Okay, so a male house cat, you can see here this house cat, you can see his little stream of, it's not urine, it actually is pheromone. Excuse me. So he's marking this tree pot thing as his. I don't know why he wants it, but he wants it. And he's a cat, and you know how stubborn cats are. As my cat sits here. I'm stubborn. Animals sometimes compete. We know this. My dog and cat, they're constantly competing to who can sit closer to me on the couch. All the time. They love sitting very close. So they're going to compete for limited resources in nature, food, water, shelter. And another one we haven't talked about too much is mates. There's only so many, I'm just going to say the word, it's not right, but there's only so many boyfriends and girlfriends out there that these animals can have. So they have to compete for food, water, shelter, and mates. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't know that I need to go into too much more detail there. So competition exists among the same species typically, but it can also exist on different species. So think of two male lions competing for the same tree, because you know where they live in the savannah, it's very hot. So if they find a tree, that means there's shade, and they want to lay under the shade. So they're going to compete for that. Maybe, again, in the savannah, there's only a small puddle because it's summertime and all the puddles have dried up. They might be, the pride of lions might be guarding that puddle. Shelter, same thing kind of with the tree. And then mates. Males in nature, boys, you actually have it easy. Typically, males in nature, they have to do a competition. They have to howl the loudest, or they have to fight off. You saw those Komodo dragons the other week. You saw them physically fighting to where they were bleeding. Sometimes it's a song, a dance, who can fly the prettiest. There's a species of duck or goose, I can't remember, that actually dances on top of the water. They walk so fast that they can walk on top of water. So boys, you have it easy. Nova? Nova? Give me your toy. Hold on. Hold on. So, animals in nature compete for a lot of stuff. Speaking of aggression, Nova, you must wait for your toy. Aggression is a threatening behavior that one animal uses to gain control over another one. So this is what I was talking about, boys, in nature. Aggression comes into play. The most aggressive Komodo dragon won the female, or the most aggressive gorilla is going to win the whole herd of ladies, because in nature, the more women that a male, quote, has, means he's a more powerful male. Aggression can be used for other things as well. Food, water, shelter. Kind of the same things there. The most aggressive wolf in the pack will eat first. Or here with these rams, maybe they're fighting over a female. Maybe they're fighting over some water. We don't really know. My animals get aggressive all the time. They like to see who can run the fastest. Or Nova will be aggressive because Nuka gets near her food dish. All kinds of stuff. You kids certainly, again, you are animals. You have all of these traits. You kids sometimes get aggressive with each other. Physically, very rarely, but it does happen. And verbally, you guys get aggressive with each other. I hear your voices get kind of angry or flustered. So aggression exists all the way from us all the way down to the most basic animals. Very rarely does aggression actually result in injury or death. Typically, the weaker animal is going to give up. So here you can see 2 male gorillas. Over here you can see 2 hippopotamuses? Hippos. Sure, let's go with hippos. So typically once the weaker animal starts to bleed or feel injured, it will eventually just give up. It will kind of recede or pull back. Typically, they're not going to fight to the death. And then another thing that they might be fighting for is space or territory. Another name for space is just territory. It's an area that is occupied and defended by animals or a group of animals. Okay, so think of the Lion King. I'm going to show you for sure on the next slide. But a territory is kind of like your house, okay? I have my house and I have a fence. That is my territory. If a stranger danger comes onto my yard, I'm going to go fight him or her off. Not really, but let's just pretend. Okay, that's my territory. Same thing with lions, tigers, all kinds of big, strong predators. They're going to have a territory, and you better stay off their territory. Gorillas are extremely territorial. In The Lion King, if you've ever seen that movie, I know you kids are getting a little young for that, but what's happening in this scene is little Simba right here, and his dad is up, they're up on this Pride Rock, or up near Pride Rock, and the dad says, "Son, everything the light touches is ours." And of course Simba's like, "Wow, Dad, that's so cool." Okay, so what Dad's saying is that all of this is their territory. This pack of lions is the most feared pack. They are the strongest. They were the most aggressive. Oh, his name's Mufasa. Goodness. Mufasa and Simba. Okay. So birds use aggression as well sometimes. So you can see here this guy, he looks a little angry. He's got a little... So birds may use songs or aggression to establish territories. Other animals may use calls, scratches, droppings, poop, or pheromones to establish a territory. So I know there's some species of monkeys out there that basically here's how they rule. They say, if you can hear my voice, you are too close to me. That's how they establish their territory. So they just stand in their middle and they go, "Oh," or whatever sound a monkey makes. And if other monkeys can hear them, they back off because they know that they're too close. Scratches. I know a lot of deer do scratches. I don't know much more than that, though. I don't know if they're doing it for territory reasons or if they're just doing it because they got an itch. I'm not really sure. But scratches can be used. I know there's all kinds of scratches on trees all over the place down here. Droppings or poop. Bigger animals, actually, sometimes, and a lot of smaller animals, they will just poop around the outside of their territory. And then other animals, when they find the poop, they go, and then they back off. Pheromones, those are those scents again. Okay, so I keep talking about those. Like my cat, he has my whole house marked up. If I would bring another cat into my house, the newcomer would most likely understand that it's my cat's house because he has his pheromones all over the place. And this should be... Nope, close to the last slide. Establishing a territory protects resources like food and mates, so protection is really key here. It also provides a safe place to raise young without competition. So if you have a good house, a good tree, a good puddle, a good food source, the babies are going to be able to be raised without any worry. I'm running out of time, so I gotta rush. Some birds cannot find a mate unless they have an established territory. So because I'm out of time, I'm going to link this video. I think it's pretty cool. This guy does a really cool dance. So go back to Google Classroom, look at the front whiteboard, figure out where you need to go next. Sorry I rushed those last 2 slides.